I got to tell you about the concert I went to last night. It was wonderful. It's a sing-along, a Messiah sing-along. We only sang one Christmas carol, well, not even Christmas carol, Come, O Come Emmanuel, in unison as the audience, as a warm-up. And the rest was Messiah. Now, of course, Messiah is an hour and a half long. Well, no, it's more than that. It's like 3 hours long. It was a strong of two, close to 3 hours long. And this was only about an hour and a half, not quite that. So it was the Christmas section of Handel's Messiah. And the weather was horrible. Powerful winds, down around 20 degrees, low visibility, some ice on the road. I don't like to drive at night anyway, but it wasn't so much me. I was going to go if it was humanly possible. But, you know, it cut down his audience, obviously. You know, the church was not packed. It was about 3/4 full, which was really quite amazing considering the weather. It was in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. But there was a string quintet. And, I mean, I got there 45 minutes early, and they were practicing. I got to hear that. And as soon as I went in there, or as soon as they started to play, I thought, wow. They're professionals. I'd say all five. Two violins, two cello. Well, it might have been I don't know if there was a viola. I think it might have been two violins, two cellos, and a bass, string bass. The bass had volunteered. She just said, "Hey, I don't want paid. I'll just do it." And it had such a sweet sound. It was deep. You know, because of that spread of the sound, and the bass added so much, just one single bass, and boy did they sound nice. And the church was not huge by any means, so, you know, we were kind of sitting all together close. There were two trumpets. They were kind of weak. Neither of them even tried to play the trumpet-shell sound. That trumpet part was covered on the organ. There was an organist too, a really good organist, and I told him, joked after, it sounded a little bit like the piccolo shall sound, because he had a setting that made it real light. You could hear it, but it didn't blast it out like the trumpet would. See, that's written in the key of D, and it's written really for a D trumpet or a piccolo trumpet, and I think these two men had B flat trumpets, but they played on the Hallelujah course and one of the other courses. But anyway, it was that accompaniment was just so nice, mostly because of the string quartet. The concertmaster, the first violinist, I had not seen her in 40 years. At first, I didn't recognize her, Stephanie, and but 40 years ago, roughly, she played for me in a concert of Israel and Egypt by Handel, an oratorio. And in Israel and Egypt, there was a lot of symbolism in the music. When the music tries to symbolize what the words are. And when it came to the plagues, Israel and Egypt is kind of famous for that symbolism. The frogs, bloop, bloop, bloop. But the flies, or the flies, that bzzz, how do you do that? Well, by unbelievably fast scales on the violin. Now that was 40 years ago. She was a really young woman at that time, and of all things, it was in the key of 3 flats, E flat, on a violin. You know, that's not a particularly comfortable key, and she remembered doing it, and she also remembered it was not a big deal. I couldn't believe that she would do that, but she did. So anyway, I got to see her. I got to see two choir members of mine from years back that I hadn't seen probably in 25 years. They were there, and a former student of mine was there. Anyway, but beyond that, it was just so pleasant. I mean, the singers, the basses were strong. There were only 4 of us. But the bassist, afterward, the string player, she said, "Boy, that was quite a bass section there." And I got to credit the other three, not me, because I'm sort of a weak baritone. But the tenors were really weak. There were only two of them, but the conductor I think was helping some because he's a brilliant tenor, Robert Long, and I suspect the tenor soloist, who was very good too, he was probably. I talked to him about it, and he said, yeah, but he's never actually sung all the Messiah, so he was kind of sight reading, a young man. The soloists were great. The soprano was outstanding. The alto was good. The tenor was good. The bass, a veteran that I knew for a long time. Uh, it was just great, and it was free, but there was a donation, and I think a lot of people put in $20, which was what the price of a ticket was in Bedford. So it was just so pleasant. And I want to tell you that I went to get Messiah scores for what I'm going to do on Sunday afternoon at the brewery, and Robert Long, whom I've known for 40 years, I talked about him. In the middle of the concert, he took a little break and explained a little history of Handel and the Messiah, and then he also mentioned that Frank Antonsen was going to be taking Messiah to Roaring Spring, and then he went into saying, and I think some people might have wondered, why is he telling us that for 100 years, not only Roaring Spring, but all of Morrison's Cove has been dry, no alcohol served publicly, legally, ever since Prohibition until about 5 years ago. And then he turned to me and he said, and Frank, where is it you're going to have that sing-along? Where's that happening? And I said, the brewery, at which point everybody laughed. I hope so. I think some of those singers are going to come. But anyway, I'm pretty optimistic that one way or another we're going to have a real fun time on Sunday afternoon. Please come, 2 o'clock at the brewery. All right, I had to get that off of my mind. It was a very pleasant experience. The music, to hear live music by good string players like that was wonderful. Bye for now.